Hello, my name is Zach Kazan, and I'm an editor with Worn & Wound, and we are at the inaugural version of the Windup Watch Fair in Chicago. I'm very happy to be joined by Jonny Garrett, founder of William Wood Watches, here to talk about his brand and some of his watches. Jonny, welcome to Chicago.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
It's so good to have you at the first Windup Watch Fair in the Midwest. Very exciting. The doors just opened, and we have people streaming in as we speak. So we're very happy to have you here. William Wood joined us at the San Francisco show. It was your first Windup Watch Fair. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about the brand for folks who might not be familiar with it, how to get its name, how to get its start, and what is the brand all about?
Sure. Okay, so William Wood was the name of my late grandfather. He served in the British Fire Service for over 25 years. So you might be able to tell by my accent that I'm from a place which is well north in the UK.
You do not have a Chicago accent.
Not at all.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. So right on the Scottish border, my grandfather was a firefighter for 25 years.
Okay.
So basically, he was a huge role model in my life, and he's gone on really to have his legacy in every single one of our watches. So what we do is we produce watches in dedication to him and firefighters internationally, made from genuine upcycled firefighting materials. And we donate a percentage of all of our sales back to international firefighting charities around the world, which is now actually, over the last 5 years, we've donated over $100,000. So pretty magnificent achievement so far.
That's fantastic. So you mentioned the materials. The thing that really jumps out for most people, I imagine, when they're looking at your watches, trying them on, is the straps. Talk about the straps specifically, because I think that's a big part of the story of the brand, and also the unique aesthetic of these watches. Yeah,
well, so I'll jump straight in and show you one of our pieces here. So this one here is actually our new Triumph Bronze Jubilee. So what makes this watch exceptionally unique, as you say, is the fact that the straps are made from genuine upcycled fire hose. So what we do is we have fire departments from around the world donate fire hose to us. Now they have to have done at least 10 years worth of service. We take them, we clean them, we repurpose them, and we put them into a watch strap. Now I'm making it sound very simple, but when we did our first strap, it literally took about 7 months of sampling to get to the stage where we could actually use fire hose in luxury watch straps. The cool thing is different fire departments around the world use different color fire hoses. This color here is purple. It took us over 5 years to actually hunt out purple. You don't see it every day. So we've got purple, which was from a Japanese-based fire department.
Oh, interesting.
We've got red, which is actually from the London Fire Brigade. So that's obviously very close to me and my heart. We've got blue, which is actually from my grandfather's home fire region of the Tyne and Wear Fire and Rescue Service. And we have yellow from the Birmingham Fire Department and green from the British Armed Forces Fire and Defence Unit.
That's so cool that you're able to trace the location of these fire departments down, and it becomes part of the story of the watch. So I want to ask you specifically about the manufacturing and construction of the straps themselves. So is this textured bit here? That's the actual fire hose?
Yeah, that's the hose itself. So interestingly, you'll find as well that fire hose actually retains a smell because it's been used in live fires. So if you actually smell that piece of hose, you can smell a sort of rich smokiness to it.
Is that the reason that you want these straps to have been used by?
Absolutely, because upcycling is a massive core value of who we are. So the straps are very, very unique, but the other element is every single one of our watches has over 100 years of real British firefighting history inside. So we take an original British brass firefighter's helmet, which has been worn by firefighters all around the UK. We take it into Hatton Gardens in London, the Jewellery District. We melt it down and we put it inside every single one of our watch cases. And that's why we say that every watch has genuine firefighting history beating through every component.
What do you see as the connection between firefighting, the profession of firefighting, and watches? How do those things line up for you?
I mean, the thing is, when I thought of the idea to do William Wood Watches 5 years ago, I didn't realize that there would be so many synergies between watches and firefighting. The first of which is, if you think about the universe of watches that we live in now, you have a watch for racing drivers, you have a watch for astronauts, you have a watch for the military. But we feel like we just stumbled upon building watches for firefighters. It seems like no one else in the world is really dedicating their entire watch collections to firefighters. And one of the first things is, obviously the diving ability allows divers to be able to sort of measure their oxygen capacity, but for firefighters, they can do the same. So when they have the oxygen tanks on their back, they can actually look at the watch, rotate the bezel, and understand how much oxygen that they have left.
Yeah.
Simple, but effective, and nobody has thought of that yet. And I thought that was quite a genius way of sort of bringing the two synergies together.
Yeah. So you mentioned the importance of the charitable aspect of your watch brand. What are some of the specific endeavors that you guys have taken on to to work for in these watches?
Sure. So there's a few different things. When my grandfather was alive, the largest fire service in the UK, actually, believe it or not, called the Firefighters Charity, helped facilitate him back to good health. Now, we are their main corporate sponsor. Every year, we donate a percentage of all of our global turnover to the Firefighters Charity. So what's really special is that even though my grandfather passed away in 2009, we are giving back to an organization that helped him out when he suffered an injury when he was in the fire department. But it doesn't stop there. So our impact sort of travels over transatlantic as well. So we produced a limited edition commemorative watch range for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation based in New York. And this is a foundation who supported a gentleman called Stephen Siller. And he, on 9/11, ended up being in one of the squadrons that unfortunately perished that day. And the organization was set up by his brother and his siblings. Phenomenal organization that pays off the mortgages of fallen firefighters' families. I mean,
great.
It's incredible. So we produced a line of watches for their beneficiaries. We also produced a Model 1 of 1 watch that sold for $19,000.
Oh, that's great.
And we donated all of the money to Tunnel to Towers. And just last month, we launched a watch for the biggest fire department in the world, the New York Fire Department. And we donated $25,000 to the New York Fire Department Foundation.
That's great. That's wonderful. So you brought these three watches. I want to talk about specifically this purple watch. Yeah. So this was made in honor of the Queen's Jubilee, correct?
Yes, correct.
So explain this watch for our viewing public, because I think it's fantastic.
So what this is, it's a Swiss-made chronograph series. It's got the Sellita SW510 movement. The dials are effectively inspired by a fire engine dashboard. So if you imagine driving a fire engine and you see the dashboard, the speedometer, that's actually what the sub-dials are, which are operated by the antique chronograph buttons on the side of the case.
Yep.
You'll see there's a checkered marking right around the outside of the dial, which is the exact checkered marking off the side of a British fire engine.
Yep.
The dial is finished in a metallic plum violet shimmer, and that's twofold. It's dedicated to the Queen's Jubilee, but also 5 years ago, our month of incorporation, or the gemstone, was amethyst.
Okay.
And that's why it's a really telling colour. But the sort of pièce de résistance, obviously, with our Triumph collection is the back of the watch, where with Sellita, we've created a movement that says, in case of fire, break glass.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool play on words, but a lovely touch.
It's really, there's something so charming about it, about a watch this specific, and that's one of the things I love about this hobby, specifically like this kind of like micro brand scene, is that brands like yours like really dive deep into something really specific, and you find yourself kind of learning about something through through pursuing this hobby that you might not otherwise, come across. You might not be an expert on the firefighting profession, coming to your brand, but you take something away from it that I think is valuable at the end of the day.
I think you make a really interesting point there, because a lot of our customers, about 70% of our customers are watch enthusiasts. The other are 30% are firefighters. The enthusiasts purchase our product because normally they can empathize with the story. They have a family member who's maybe a past or present first responder, or they have a connection to what we're trying to do and giving back to different first responding foundations around the world. And buying a real piece of British firefighting history in your watch collection is just so damn unique.
Yeah, no, it's really, there's certainly, you know, we say it's kind of almost a cliche to say there isn't another brand that's doing it like, you know, brand X, but like I can't think of another brand that is, you know, dedicated to firefighting quite in the same way that William Wood is. So what is the long-term vision for the brand? What do you see in the future for William Wood?
Sure, yeah. So next year we want to take a 1960s, 1970s British fire engine. We're going to convert it and we're going to turn it into our rolling store. So if you imagine the big old shutters on the back, it's going to have our watches in, glass compartment. We're going to drive it all around the UK and Europe, promoting our watches and the great work of the fire service. And then in 2024, we have our eyes on a closed fire station in the UK. We want to convert that and make it into our head office and concept store, so customers can come in. Our employees will be wearing upcycled fire hose aprons, and when you buy a watch, we'll come down the firefighter pole from the storeroom and we'll ring a big fire bell to mark the fact that you're part of the William Wood family.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that sounds fantastic. So I gotta ask. So you're upcycling fire hoses into straps, aprons. What else can you turn a fire hose into? What are the possibilities here?
The possibilities are endless. I mean, you can turn them into wallets, you can turn them into belts, you can even turn them into small cufflinks. That being said, as I say, that's just because we've sort of perfected the craft over the last few years.
Yeah.
If you take fire hose, it will feel like the most sort of non-flexible product to use. But now we've worked out a way where we can sort of make it amenable to what we do. And
so what does that involve? Like specifically in terms of the manufacturing, do you how do you treat it to get it to the point where it can be used in a strap or used as in an apron or a wallet? What do you have to do to it?
A lot of it actually comes down to pressure and heat. So obviously when you heat up rubber, it's going to become more supple, but the pressure as well allows you to be able to manipulate the material more. And what we do, of course, is we sew the strap into a rubber backing, because this is the thing with upcycling. If we made the entire strap from fire hose, it wouldn't be a luxury watch strap anymore. It would be flimsy, it wouldn't have the rigidity, so we have to have obviously a mold, a strap mold in the back, and then a fire hose is added to it. But something else which is really cool is we have a strap made from turnout gear. So the actual fire gear firefighters wear in live fires, again, that's donated to us. We wash, clean it, repurpose it. That was very hard because there was a lot of fraying. We mastered it again, and we found that we've made a beautiful desert sand color fire gear strap.
That's so cool. That's very cool. Yeah, no, it's an aesthetic that's completely unique. You really landed on something here. What else should Worn and Wound viewers, listeners, readers know about your brand that you want to share?
Yeah, I think it's really just, we do a lot of work for fire departments too, which I think is really cool. So rather than, I guess there's two sides to the business. One side is the individual enthusiasts and firefighters who buy our product, but also we actually produce watches for fire departments around the world. Not many people know that. So we have made watches exclusively for the London Fire Brigade, the Melbourne Fire Brigade, the Kuwait Fire Force, the New York Fire Department, Tunnel to Towers, and that is a really, really cool way where firefighters can have the emblem of their fire department in the back of the watch and their actual payroll number engraved into the case bag. And what we do is we make a donation to the fire department as a result of producing those watches too. And I think that's something which is really cool to know that we're not only serving individual customers, but we are actually doing what we set out to, and we're supporting firefighters as well.
That's great. Where can our viewers learn more about William Wood watches?
Well, first and foremost, they could come down to the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So either Chicago or in New York in October, which is going to be awesome. You can find us on Instagram at William Wood Watches, all one word, and our website is williamwoodwatches.com.
Jonny, thanks so much for joining us.
This
has been great.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.